Hey folks, my name is Naps. I'm going to be rolling a Druid tank on the Faerlina server. With Classic WoW on the horizon, I've been seeing a lot of videos talking about choosing your class. I wanted to clear up some of the misunderstandings I may have saw in some of these videos. Druids are more than capable of fulfilling the role of a healer, DPS, or tank. They may not be the best in any of these categories, but they can still be potent and important part of your raid composition due to the utility they bring. Today we'll be covering Druid tanking and why it may be a good idea to add a Druid off tank to your lineup. So, to begin, let's talk about the pros to being a Druid tank. Druids are gear independent. Druids will function fairly well without meeting super high gear thresholds due to the fact that they have multipliers on their health and armor pools. This also causes them to have higher base HPs and armor pools than even warriors, especially at the start of a gear curve. On top of that, most early best in slot gear is found in dungeons, meaning they only opt to replace a few pieces of their gear between Blackwing Lair and Molten Core. This means it will be easier to get them into best in slot shape. This also means you'll have one less warrior to split gear between. On top of that, they have some of the highest threat generation when tanking 1 to 4 mobs, meaning your DPS will not have to watch threat as much and can burn large adds or bosses faster. This is important because threat can oftentimes gate damage, especially at the start of a server launch. This is in part to Maul being multiplicative in threat generation as opposed to additive like Heroic Strike, as well as being able to generate extra threat with debuffs like Demoralizing Roar and Fairy Fire. A neat trick you can do as a Druid tank as well is to pre-hot yourself with Rejuvenation and Regrowth so you generate healing aggro too on pull. And probably the coolest part about playing a Druid is that they are the only hybrid class in the game which can comfortably heal and tank in one spec. They will not be topping the charts as healers in this spec, however, they get enough stats to be a adequate and contributing member to the healing team. As you can see, the build that I am referencing is on the slide, and this has a slight PvP skew to it, but it's called Heart of the Wild Nature Swiftness. Moving on, we have some faction-specific perks. This mainly pertains to Alliance because there is a slight skew between playing Alliance and Horde. You have Blessing of Kings, which is it's just 10% to all your stats. Like, how could this ever be bad? Fear Ward, which helps shore up a Druid weakness in not having any ways to break fears. Casting this preemptively helps deal with that issue. And the 1% dodge chance is pretty good, especially considering that you're an agility-based tank, and it basically equates to having a free 20 agility. You're just not getting the extra crit chance that you would normally get from it. For Horde, they gain 5% to max health. This is actually huge because it's 5% to health, not stamina. It's a key distinction. That means it will stack with your flasks, and it will also stack with your buffs, and this can lead to an immense HP gain. And then for PvP, you can always consider War Stomp. War Stomp is just an extra stun, and it's good. There's nothing else to say about it. So the cons. The cons become less cons once you've actually dealt with them. It's just you need to first farm all your consumes. Once you have your consumes, it's no longer a con because you have them, and you're now able to function. And same thing with gear. Once you have your gear sets, it's all about maintaining and making sure you don't fall behind. It's a little bit easier on Druids because a lot of your tanking gear, again, you're replacing it very slowly, really only having your first major set change with AQ coming out. And I guess another drawback would be the fact that they don't have shields. Shields are great for tanking multiple adds. They help deal with lots of small hits. So when dealing with mobs of 5 or greater, it can be kind of a pain as a Druid. Probably the biggest drawback is not being able to use consumes mid-fight due to bear form. This can inhibit your use of defensive potions, which can actually mess with your damage taken a little. Lack of defensive cooldowns and being unable to break CC are two pretty big cons. These are dealt with a little bit when you're on Alliance because you have Fear Ward. And I'd say probably another pretty big con is that they are definitely Alliance favored, so you have to consider what faction you want to play when deciding if you really want to play a Druid tank or not. Not saying they can't be played on Horde, but there are definitely more benefits to playing on Alliance. So, in conclusion, Druid is solidly the second best tank in the game, and reserving an off tank slot or extra tank slot for a Druid who does the preparation, getting both gear sets and consumables needed to fulfill the role as a hybrid healer tank will give your raid team some extra flexibility and is well worth the slot. As I said in the earlier, my name is Naps, and if any guilds out there are looking to recruit a possible feral tank, you can absolutely hit me up on restoration.druid81@gmail.com or on Discord at naps #7736. As you can see my availability on the slide, I will be grinding the first 2 weeks of Classic launch as well. Take care and have a great day. Thanks for your time and consideration. Naps out.